So maybe help us think through what the differences are between therapy and biblical counseling. How would you define those?
So I'll start by trying to be clear. And then sometimes clear is not always the most accurate, so we'll come
Sure.
behind that. But if my only goal was to be clear, then when we talk about therapy, we would probably say something that happens in a vocational or private practice setting, that the counselor and counselee, the only time they meet is in the counselor's office. The counseling relationship starts with the counselee coming forward with a presenting problem. The counselor is getting to know a stranger from a set of intake forms forward. And once whatever struggle in life exists is alleviated, they never see each other again. When we think of biblical counseling, we usually more think ministry-based care. These are lifelong relationships where we're doing life together.
Yeah.
A pastor doesn't start shepherding someone when they hit a life hardship, and they don't stop shepherding someone when that hardship is resolved. And so, if we want to say therapy or vocational counseling, that's much more individualistic, that it's also more short term. Biblical counseling tends to be more collectivist. It's more about a flock or a covenant community, it tends to be more long term. If we were just trying to be clear, and I cleared my throat and said, could I be more clear? Then we could kind of leave the conversation there. But there's lots of places where we look at it and we go, that was clear, but what about? So we think about like the distinctions between nature and nurture and how we're
Mm.
shaped as people. And we're like, it's a little bit of both. Or,
Yeah.
in school, we learned the difference between solids and liquids. And then we tried to figure out peanut butter. Or we had biology class and we learned the difference between mammals and birds and reptiles. And we're like, what do we do with that duck-billed platypus?
Yeah.
And so here, just as our listeners, like, I'm not one of those people that says, listener, you ought to think just like I think. I want to give you questions to kind of bring you along as a listener and grapple with what's here. So here's the question I'd put before our listeners early. Can biblical counseling be expressed with integrity? Like that's the key part, with integrity in more formal settings where there's a higher level of expertise by the helper and the relationship is more exclusively just for the duration of the life struggle. Like as we gravitate in that direction, can we still legitimately do biblical counseling, or do some of those formal accommodations begin to make it something else?
Hmm.